6 months, 10,000 kilometers, and countless adventures. It's time to talk about what it's really like to own a Jetour T2. From city streets to wild outdoors, I've put this SUV through just about everything. So let's get into it. The good, the bad, and whether you should consider getting one yourself. Let's find out. When I first got the T2, I was just drawn to its bold, off-road ready design. It's got the rugged stance, high ground clearance, and a front grille that just screams adventure. And I'll be honest, it still turns heads, whether you're in the city or out in the middle of nowhere. People want to know what you are driving. But as we know, looks aren't everything. So let's start with the good. First up, comfort. I've taken the Jetour T2 on long road trips, and the seats, surprisingly good. Supportive, well cushioned, and even after hours behind the wheel, I've never felt like I was desperate to get out. Plus, the cabin is well insulated, quite good enough that the highway drives don't leave you with a headache from the road noise. Tech-wise, Jetour didn't cheap out. The infotainment system is quick, the screen is sharp, and the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto seamless. The digital driver's display gives you all the info you need without being overwhelming. And a bonus point for wireless charging pad, it's actually in a spot that makes sense. Then there's capability. This thing handles off-road conditions surprisingly well for what it is. The suspensions has just enough flex, and then the all-wheel drive system works wonders when the terrain gets tricky. Sure, it's not a hardcore rock crawler, but for overland trips and weekend getaways, it gets you covered. Safety is another big factor, and the Jetour T2 holds its own. You get a full suite of features including adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning, blind spot monitoring, and a 360-degree camera that makes maneuvering easy. The braking system feels solid, and the emergency braking assist in those unexpected situations, it's pretty good. Talking airbags? Plenty. You get front, side, and curtain. For a vehicle in this price range, Jetour didn't skip on anything that could keep you safe. Alright. Now let's talk about the not so great parts. And we have to start with fuel economy. If you're expecting hybrid-like mileage, forget it. In city driving, this thing loves to drink. Even on highways, it's not the most frugal SUVs out there. If fuel economy is a priority for you, this might be a deal breaker. Not the peppiest, I must say. Sometimes you feel that it's slightly underpowered, and that's when you really want to floor it. But otherwise, overall, I would say it's okay to go on daily drives. But again, if you're looking to have that extreme power behind you, this car might just not fulfill that. Now the next thing is the size. Now I love a big beefy SUV as much as most of us do. But in the tight urban areas, parking can be a bit of a hassle. The turning radius isn't exactly city friendly, and in crowded parking lots, you'll find yourself making a few extra adjustments. And while we are at it, the headlights could be better. They work fine, but for an SUV that looks this aggressive, I was expecting a bit more brightness, especially on dark internal roads. Now let's talk about the money side of the things. Buying the Jetour T2 is definitely easier on the wallet compared to some of its competitors. You are getting a solid package: comfort, tech and capability at a price point that undercuts a lot of well-known brands. Maintenance cost? They're reasonable, though parts availability might depend on where you live. Resale value is still a question mark since the Jetour is a newer brand in some markets, but if you plan on keeping this for a few years, it's a pretty good deal. So, 6 months and 10,000 kilometers later, do I regret getting the Jetour T2? Absolutely not. It's comfortable, tech-packed, and can handle a weekend adventure with ease. Sure, it's got a few flaws, but every car does. If you're looking for a capable, head-turning SUV that won't break the bank, the Jetour T2 is definitely worth considering. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Would you take the Jetour T2 for your next road trip? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stick around for more real-world car reviews. Until next time, drive safe and stay adventurous.